If there's one thing I've learned, it's that humans are creatures of progression. We naturally seek to do more, whether it's conscious, subconscious, we just want to do more. The thing with this progression is it doesn't discriminate between good progression and bad progression. Progression and things that are productive and things that will honestly get you nowhere. Whatever you're currently doing right now, you're more likely going to do more of it and in a more efficient manner in the future. With this in mind, I want you to think about all those days. We all have these days where you just want to sit in bed, lie in bed, not even get out of the blankets. Stay in bed, watch Netflix, do literally nothing the whole day. But if you're anything like me, those days, they sound nice in theory, but in practice, at the end of the day, you're just left with a sour taste in your mouth. You're left thinking like, oh, why am I even alive? Why did I even spend today in bed? I'm just a waste of space at this point. And I know that may be unhealthy. It may be a toxic way to view those days where you don't do anything. But I'll continue to do this until I die. So, Kasim is what you want. That's just how I see it. What I've seen is that on those days where you really just don't want to do anything, but you know you need to do something, right? The best thing you can do is show up. And what I mean by that is tell yourself that you're going to do the bare minimum. The other day I had to script videos. And if I don't script, I don't record. So I told myself that even though I don't feel like it, all I'm going to do today is sit at my desk. And then once I got up and sat at my desk, I was naturally like, okay, let me open the book that I script the videos in. And after that, I was like, let me get my pen. Let me just do a paragraph. Then before I knew it, I had already scripted 4 videos. And 4 videos is essentially a week's worth of YouTube videos. So because I just told myself, let me just sit at my desk, I did a week's worth of work. Some people take 3 months to do a week's worth of work. I did it in 1 day. And during each step, I didn't have to give myself a pep talk of like, okay, I'm gonna sit at my desk. Okay, I'm gonna get the book. Let me get the pen. I was just naturally progressing through the process of scripting videos. The only part where I needed the pep talk was getting out of bed, because I promise you, I really didn't want to get out of bed. But everything else was just my natural tendency to progress. And you have the same natural tendency. If I had stayed in bed for longer, I would have been more likely to continue staying in bed. Because let me give you a physics lesson here. An object that is... An object in motion will continue to be in motion until a force acts upon it. Or an object that is stationary will continue to be stationary until a force acts on it. So the longer I stayed in bed, the easier it would have been for me to stay in bed, because I would have been like building momentum of staying in bed, right? But you see, I use this physics principle. This principle works with everything. It works with like momentum in business, momentum in games. That's why when you're watching football games, they may be one team winning, but if the other team pegs a goal, they just get a surprise goal. They'll now have the momentum. They'll now be the object that's in motion. So the opposite team that's just conceded will need to work hard not to concede anymore. Using this principle, right, once I got out of my bed and I sat at my desk, I was now in motion. So it would be easier for me to continue in motion than to stop. Like imagine I get out of bed, I make my bed, I sit at my desk, and I'm just like, let me go back and sit in my bed. Fair enough, that is a viable option. But the fact that I got out of bed and I was already in motion made it easier for me to continue with my task. So with all that being said, on those days where you feel like doing nothing, where you feel like, you know what, today I'll just waste a day, I'm just going to watch Netflix and I'll do all that other stuff tomorrow. All you have to do is do the first step. Because once you do the first step, the second step, the third step, fourth step, up to the 20th step becomes so much easier. And you'll be surprised how much you can complete in a day just by simply showing up. And once you finish showing up, once you finish your task from the day just because you sat at the bed, now you can go to sleep and you repeat the same thing tomorrow. Because every day is a different fight.